Welcome back to TEW Toxic, held in front of a sold-out crowd of 3,600 people in the Foxwoods Resort Casino. We start off the show, second way to 56 in a decent match. The Investments Chris May defeats Alex Shelley in 12:59 by pinfall, illegally using the ropes leverage, beating when half a full throttle, not doing it in the most legitimate way. Alex Shelley getting a 55, Chris May getting just better with a 57. Nothing to, bring the match down. That is what we have. That is the best they could have gotten. Okay, let's start the show. Pretty good way to get this show going. We get into next segment of 64. A little bit of a hype up for the main event as Samoa Joe and Fallah Bahh will face the Destruction Crew. These two are seen backstage strategizing, Joe knows about the limitations of good old Fallah Bahh and wants, make sure that he's there. Make sure he knows what he has to do in order to get the victory. Basically, it's not really, I don't want to over-explain promos that don't need over-explaining. Because otherwise I ramble and it's shit. Then we have 51. Shane Strickland, is walking through backstage, a little bit, amused with himself. Where Paul Heyman catches him and gets him into his office as he's walking past. And Heyman is pissed. Strickland, took out the international champion. He's not in the building tonight. Heyman hasn't got an update on his medical situation yet. Sean Waltman apparently has that information. He'll give it out later on. Yeah, Heyman does not know this international champion title. No, he doesn't know he has to vacate the title. He has no other plans for if this actually is a big issue. And Strickland, he's getting berated at for, potentially ruining, that entire division currently. And he's just there smiling at himself because if Gresham's gone, he's obviously going to be in line for a title shot, right? Right? Then we had a 47 in a poor match. Myron Reed defeated PJ Black in 11:38 by pinfall with a Skywalker. Reed still on the good wave of momentum, getting another win here. Also getting a performance of a 50. While PJ Black getting a 38, Myron Reed benefited off a hot new move. PJ Black was penalised for inconsistency and declining physical ability. So Myron Reed on these random filler matches, is racking up wins quick. That could, if he gets enough wins, that could lead up to something big, maybe. If he's beating PJ Black this week, next week he's beating Silver, the week after he's beating Bryan Danielson, you don't know. They make a 51 now. The in-ring return of the Von Erichs they haven't been seen since they lost the titles. In a poor match, they return and defeat Myers and Cardona in 13:41 when Marshall Von Erich submitted Matt Cardona with the Iron Claw. Matt Cardona getting a 54, Brian Myers getting a 42, Marshall Von Erich with a 49, and Ross Von Erich with a 40. Ross Von Erich also seemed off his game. Myers and Cardona showed excellent chemistry teaming together and had the tag team specialist bonus. And Matt Cardona benefited from a groundswell of public support, as he always does. Brian Myers was inconsistent, so was Ross Von Erich. and because the Von Erichs, they lost the titles, they're obviously going to want, a shot at the titles again. And same way to 35. And of course they do. But oh wow, I did not like that accidentally. Fine. But they know that Full Throttle deserved this shot. They fought for it, they earned it, and they didn't get it. So they are cheering on Full Throttle from the sidelines, and we'll wait until after that in order to earn their rematch. So Von Erich, you're given a reason for taking the back seat until after Jingle Bell Rock, presumably, and then they're going to try to work to get the title shot again. A little simple thing, Von Erich's are back. Woo! Brian Pillman Jr. is up next, I mean, a 45. As you know, last week after winning, he challenged... Oh, wow. He challenged Hiroshi Tanahashi for a United States Championship match. And of course, Tanahashi didn't answer him. He hasn't answered this entire week. So before his match here tonight, he challenges him again. He says like, you'll be sick this entire week, Tanahashi. You didn't respond to my message, my tweet, my request. It seems like you're dogging me. It's like maybe you're scared of good old pie Brian Pillman Jr., son of the lunatic. Maybe he could be. Maybe he could be, or maybe he just doesn't care. I haven't got any information on that. But Pillman is still trying to push and see if he can get that title shot. But up next, 7 to 54, he faces Timothy Thatcher. Oh my god, my throat. My throat is dry. I should have grabbed a drink, but I have not, and that's my issue. In a decent match, Brian Pillman Jr. manages to defeat Timothy Thatcher 16-12 by pinfall. However, he had to get a surprise roll-up. Timothy Thatcher had the upper hand for a good majority of the latter half, a good majority of the match, especially in the latter half. And Pillman, kept fighting back, getting good to good offense. Would hit whether his finisher is. God, I'm bad with this. Would hit whether his finisher is. Timothy Thatcher would kick out, and then he would start getting upper hand again. But looking like an armbar submission. Brian Pillman Jr. would manage to slip his arm out and would roll over. Covering on his back exposed, covering his arm. Thatcher would get up, would flip his body over, and as he would do that, Pillman would shoot his arm up, grab his head, and would roll him up for the 1, 2, 3. Brian Pillman Jr. getting a 52, Timothy Thatcher getting a 56. And nothing to concern ourselves about, and then he still won technically, but not in the dishonorable way. It's made out that maybe he definitely won't be ready for Tanahashi if he's winning like that. Then winning at 50 up next, Sean Mortman gives us a medical update on Jonathan Gresham after after the hardcore match and then the barbed wire attack afterwards from Shane Strickland. Mortman tells us that Fo Gresham will be out for the next couple of weeks. He is okay, and injuries aren't too bad, in minor stuff, His head's bandaged up, but he'll be fine. He'll be back soon. He should be, all good and ready for Jingle Bell Rock. No need to, vacate the title or anything. Look, that'd be upsetting if you had to. It would be upsetting if he had to. He didn't get injured in the match, obviously. But it would have been upsetting, it's like he loses the title via, injury. It's never good when the champion loses via injury, because then you have to, wait. And then when they retire, they don't usually win the title back, so. Then when at 57, the other half of Full Throttle versus the other half of investment, Trey Miguel versus Lio Rush. In a decent match, Trey Miguel drew with Lio Rush in 12-19 following a double disqualification when Chris Bay first ran out in order to attack Trey Miguel because, he was getting the upper hand. So he ran out, attacked Trey Miguel. The ref was distracted, the turnbuckle, got loose because Lio Rush is tightening up. As Chris Bay and Lio Rush are attacking Trey Miguel, Alex Shelley runs in to help make the save, and he goes to all-out brawl. The ref turns around and he's like, oh wow, half of those people aren't in this match, calls for the double disqualification. Trey Miguel getting a 53, Lio Rush getting a 58. Okay, and post-match, the reign of 40, both teams are, it's just a foul brawl with each other. Basically, it's just a further of what happened there. So they're brawling, and that's like Lio Rush, managed to get Alex Shelley to the outside. He goes over and he hits a suicide dive to Alex Shelley. And then Trey Miguel, Chris Bay's down a little bit. Trey Miguel goes over and then hits a suicide dive to Lio Rush. And then as all three men get up to their feet, Chris Bay goes and hits a suicide dive of his own, and then he hits down everyone. It's kind of like that, basically. Kind of at that moment, you know, multiple people are hitting suicide dives. Oh my god. Segment 49, Christopher Daniels and Silver have exchanged words. First Silver comes out, and you know, he's like, you know, Christopher Daniels isn't even a part of the company, so you shouldn't even be able to challenge Danielson. So Silver is going to make the challenge here tonight. This for round 2 against Danielson, when Christopher Daniels makes his way to the ring and just says that, you know, it's not looking to be in AEW forever, alluding to the fact that, you know, that they're not going to re-sign him, and so they might try to sign him after he's let go, and then we can just keep him forever and ever and ever. And it's just like a back and forth. I'm not gonna do promos. You guys should know this. It's not like I'm going to tell you how the promo goes. You know, you can imagine some of the stuff I said. You people probably better than doing promos than myself. So that's why I'm not gonna read promo. Makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. And then, you know, after, you know, all that promo stuff, the main point of this is that they agree that next week on Toxic, it will be Christopher Daniels versus Silver, and then the winner will face Bryan Danielson at Jingle Bell Rock in a number 1 contenders match. Because, woo! Main event of the evening, segment main of 52 in a decent match. The Destruction Crew, Jacob Fatu and Jeff Cobb defeat Samoa Joe and Fallah Bahh in 15-19 when Cobb pinned Fallah Bahh with the Tour of the Islands. Samoa Joe did most of the work in this match. I kept Fallah Bahh out limited involvement because of his very shit stamina. And I mean really shit stamina. I mean, this match could have done a little bit better, but this... Like Fallah Bahh can barely do a 10-minute match without getting gassed. So... yeah. This is Samoa Joe. He's doing most of the work. You know, occasionally tackling Fallah Bahh, he needs a little break. And then one of the times he tags out Fallah Bahh. Fallah Bahh's about to go and tag Joe back in when Jacob Fatu catches the leg of Samoa Joe. He crumbles down. Fallah Bahh misses the tag because Joe is out. He gets back up to his feet, slowly turns around, and Jeff Cobb hits Tour of the Islands for the 1, 2, 3. Fallah Bahh, with limited involvement, gets a 26. Samoa Joe heads and shoulders over everyone else with a 71. Jeff Cobb with a 55. Jacob Fatu with a 53. Part of the match was hard because some workers having limited involvement, or little to no involvement. So, you know, I shot myself in the foot that I was able to have a longer match because of it, so... yeah. It's something you have to do sometimes. Yeah, you have to do it sometimes. Joe was inconsistent and has declined physical ability. Fallah Bahh had limited involvement and was inconsistent, and then Matt penalised for that as well. So Fallah Bahh won in the match, basically. Post-match, they made a 47 to end the show as Jeff Cobb and Joe Fatu retreat out of there after getting the win. Joe helps up Fallah Bahh and then, you know, locks in the coquina clutch. He doesn't really give a shit about Fallah Bahh. You know, letting them do this match, it's like throwing him a little bone. He failed. Joe doesn't really want to lose. This is basically technically his first loss. So, you know, he's not really happy. And then, you know, he locks in coquina clutch. And, you know, goodbye Fallah Bahh. You're probably not going to be in a storyline ever again, and you're going to be like a jobber on the pre-show because you're, you know, at least in this save, you're shit. I don't want wrestling. I don't know if it actually is shit. It's just based on the stats in the game. The show got an overall for 56. We are slowly doing worse. The shows are doing worse, like slightly, by like 1 point each week. The first week was a 58. Last week was a 57. This week was a 56. And then, you know, all of the popularity stuff is the same because it's never different and it's always not original and it's boring and dumb and stupid. Okay, we are halfway to Think About Rock. We have 3 more episodes of Toxic till we get there. And then, you know, we have 2 more weeks and then we have, you know, the New Year's thing. However, before the New Year's thing, I might do, like, you know, State of the Universe type thing because, well, it'll be, you know, 2022. Like, no one is excited for 2022. Yeah!